Hello, dear my friends. I think you are all well, and I'm here, Abdullah. I'm also well. I welcome to my channel, AW Versatile TV. Today's point to discuss is about all the time we'll have to follow the foreign policy of India. Is it a big question to the citizens of India now? My answer is that sometimes you have to follow the foreign policy, the security policies of India, but sometimes you cannot. And you can go opposing the foreign policy of that nation here of India. Why? Why did this so? What is the example? What is the legality to do this? The first legality is that you cannot oppose the foreign policy of any country, of your nation, of your hosting country. You cannot oppose the foreign policy because you are of that country. You are the citizen. But one thing is that rules is there, laws is there, Indian Constitution is there. There is an article, there is an IPC also, that a nation which is very friendly to India, you cannot make that country enemy to you, enemy to your country. So a country is there which is very friendly, but in another way, there is a country where the enmity is there between India and that country, suppose country A. Then you cannot make friendship with that country. This is the rules. Indian Constitution and IP says this. So you have to follow the foreign policy of India. But sometimes you cannot follow, or you should not follow. Even you can go against the foreign policy of India. Why and why? If there is a destructive things, take example of war. The central government want to make war against any country of this world, then war is a destructive things. How can I support a destructive things though I am Indian? Why? In war, your houses can be broken up, your houses can be smashed, and your business can vanish. People can die. So in that situation, you cannot follow, you cannot support. You should not go along with the government. But when there is a question of prosperity, friendship, peace, development, progress, there you have to align with the foreign policy of India, foreign policy of your hosting country. Supporting the foreign policy of your hosting country is very logical and natural, and lots of examples is there. Nationalism, ultra-nationalism is there everywhere in this country, and everywhere in every country. But you seldom find there is an exception. I am giving an exception example. That is during the World War II. At that time, England was waging war against Germany, but the foreign policy of England was to protect themselves by making a war. But at that time, George Bernard Shaw did not support war of Britain, war of England. In London, in front of the people, in a park, he was opposing the foreign policy, war policy, security policy of Churchill, the Prime Minister of England. George Bernard Shaw did a remarkable thing at that time, and he was right. As a consequence, the world recognized him and later on given him Nobel Peace Prize. Nobel Peace Prize. So, all the time you should not abide by, you should not follow and support the government foreign policy. But rules there, IPC is there, Indian Constitution says that in other time you have to support the foreign policy of central government, you have to support the foreign policy, the security policy of your hosting country. So where is the distinction? Distinction is that when there is a constructive things, when there is a policy for upliftment, when there is a policy of progress and development, when there is a policy of love, brotherhood, peace, at that time you have to have abide by, you have to have accept, you have to have in your heart to support the foreign policy, security policy of that country, hosting country. Here it is India. At the same time, you can oppose the foreign policy, security policy of that country, of your hosting country, of your country. Here it is India. If there is a warmongering people, if there is a question of destruction, when there is an appeal for destruction, both of your enemy and ourselves, when there will be a war, your houses will finish, your business will finish, economy will go down, you will be a poorer person after the war. At that time, you must oppose the foreign policy. If somebody is telling you that, come with me, this is my policy to jump on a fire, will you jump along with him to the fire? No, you cannot. You have to oppose at that time. My dear my friend, you have to say that it is a fire, don't jump upon it. I shall not support you, I shall not jump along with you, but I shall prevent you to jump on the fire. That is the question. So you have to distinguish between destructive foreign policy and constructive foreign policy of your hosting country. Do you understand? I think I am able to make you understand where lies the sharp distinction when you have to support the foreign policy and when you have to oppose the foreign policy of your hosting country. Thank you very much. Support this channel, subscribe this channel and press the bell icon so that you can get the up-to-date video. Thank you. God bless you all.